They kept asking us to. They're like, "Don't go to Borders. Don't go to that hotel.
They said Borders. They said Brush is terrible for hotels.
You gotta come stay with us.
Stay with us.
You gotta come stay with us." And then me and Mike are like, "I think they're trying to lure us back." Anyways, then the husband put his finger in my mouth.
Then he put his finger in.
He was standing behind me and then just fish hooked me. I'm gonna take my shoes off before I get in the bed.
Yeah.
Is this how we're starting the podcast?
Take your shoes off.
The audio's all right. Give it a second.
Russell, are you familiar with the story of the 5 little piggies?
I don't like this at all. I don't like the energy that this is starting.
I don't like anything about this. Oh my God.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to the podcast. This looked.
I hate the mirror behind
my feet. You're getting those for free, everybody.
That shows the tripod. This is so porno. There's 2 mirrors. It's a forever scope. It's the worst.
Let's assume this a little bit. It's so dark. It's so dark. This is gonna look bad.
I mean,
there we go. Brighten it up.
There's lights under. There's lights under this. There's somewhere.
Oh. Whoa. Okay.
Whoa. Wait a second.
Now we're cooking with
Here
gas.
it is.
I gotta close the aperture again. I don't know what any of these buttons actually do. All right. We're in Brush, Colorado. This has been the weirdest day.
Oh. No.
It's so weird.
He confuses the word weird with the word best.
We're in Brush, Colorado. Great show. Great show in Brush. Hey, everybody, tell your friends. I did my first 30 minutes.
First full fucking
For the love
feature.
of God, we finally did it. We got it out of the door.
And you did, what was your time? 31 and
31.
a half? 31 minutes. Absolutely crushed it.
Oh, jeez. That's going to fall. First feature. We did it, everybody. I mean, not first feature. First time doing 30. So
First time doing 30.
I've been trying to pull the trigger on it for so long now. I did 30 minutes. Mike did 45 minutes. He forgot a bunch of stuff. Now
I was booked to do 45 to an hour.
So he did the minimum for that ROI.
46 and a half minutes.
You pulled more of a Jewish move than I could. You did the minimum amount of time.
I did 46 and a half minutes. What do you want from me? I was booked for 45.
That's pretty good. It sounds like Jason's Trump impression. So we're in Brush, Colorado, town of 600 people. We're the new celebrities. We met the mayor.
We did meet the mayor.
The mayor
sat down with us for like an hour.
The mayor we were talking about jokes and riffing, and she earnestly touched me on the shoulder and was like, I've been to the Holocaust Museum. And then didn't have like, she was like, it made me really sad. It made me really sad. It really bummed me out.
It's I told you about this. Is like, I have a real problem with like, oh, I'm so trained as like a child who didn't have friends to be like, oh, you talked about this. I have a reference for that. I have something I can talk about. So you mentioned The Simpsons. Let me tell you about the Simpsons episode I saw. No, like, it's just an instinct reaction. You said on stage, I'm Jewish. And she just could not contain, like, I went to the Holocaust Museum. It was so sad.
Some stuff happened to you guys, didn't it? That was
if anyone
cool.
saw my
also,
eyes
Mike,
just go wide looking over here, it's because I'm looking at your fridge that you mentioned earlier.
Yo, the fridge is rusted out.
That doesn't look like rust. That looks like buckshot blood splatter.
I thought it was. I touched it, which was probably not a safe move, but I'm like, is this wet or is this dry? So we're in a hotel room. We're all over the place.
Yeah, there's mirrors behind the bed. Come on.
Maybe
come
a two-way
on.
mirror. You can see you can see the computer recording the podcast. We checked in. I came into my hotel room, pooped, put on a sweater, waited for Mike in the lobby. Mike, what did you do in your cool hotel room? We got 2 rooms. We don't even have to share this bed.
We don't have to share this
We're
bed.
just choosing to do so.
I went to my room. we can go through the rigmarole of, like, I went out for a cigarette, and then I surprised you. I took a picture behind you. It was very funny. Immediately when I go to a hotel room, and I've stayed in some real shitholes, I always check for bed bugs because I'm terrified of bed bugs.
I wasn't until you described them to me. And you're like, your life is ruined. They tear apart your marriage.
What happens when you get bed bugs? Talk to somebody who's lived in New York. Talk to somebody who's lived in Paris. You have to wrap everything you own in like the special plastic, and they have to heat it up in a special oven to kill these things. They're immortal. Sometimes it doesn't work, and they can spread to different rooms of your house. So I always check for bed bugs. I won't stay in a place if I have bed bugs. I'll sleep in the car. I've done it before. Whatever. Doesn't seem to be bed bugs. It's fine. And I thought, okay, this place is pretty okay. Then I had to go put in contacts. Actually, no. First, I went to put the sodas.
Which, by the way, we have more. We got McDonald's after the show, but we also have Moxie, the original elixir. It's very good. I know it'll hurt your tummy.
It's definitely going to hurt my tummy.
To eat 2 fast foods and sodas, and you're also drunk, and you're going to blame it. You're going to blame a hurt tummy.
I'm not drunk.
That's comedy, everybody. We did it. End the episode.
That's a clip. That's a clip right there for sure.
You're just going to do things purposely for TikTok.
That was, honestly, it was.
That's why my toes are out.
I only noticed as soon as I held there's somebody. I'm like, oh, Mike, that's not the mic. By the way, you have to pop these off.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, they're not twist off.
Hey, buddy, I assume we can smash these on anything in this hotel room, and it will not make a difference.
So I go.
He goes
to put the sodas in the fridge. Think I'll keep these cold for after our show. I'm gonna have a little celebratory soda. There is in my fridge a full glass of milk and a full
not a carton of milk, just a glass. Just a glass of milk
and a bowl of cornflakes. Just sitting in there, and I think, wow, maybe this place isn't as clean as I thought it was.
Do you think it's just that the venue got my rider? I told them.
Finally, someone reads the contract. They got our rooms mixed up, though. I'm supposed to have the dead person in my fridge. Yeah. You're supposed to have the bowl of milk.
You wanted the two-way mirror so the front desk person can see you.
Who,
no.
How would you describe the front desk person in 3 sentences?
3 sentences?
3 sentences. 3 short sentences. Describe the front desk person.
A progressive beacon of Brush, Colorado. A hero, perhaps some would describe. Okay, don't laugh. Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
People are already mad about the way I book shows. You can't also discriminate this way.
All right, so if somebody was now at this point, you've got 1 sentence left. If they were to be like, okay, so this person is Margaret Thatcher. This person is Rosa Parks.
Roseanne Parks.
Roseanne Parks.
There's a bit there. That seems I'm not going to touch it.
All right, anyway. So there's milk. There's everything. I'm thinking, okay, maybe this place isn't as clean as I thought. Go to the bathroom to put in my contacts because I don't like to do stand-up with glasses on. Don't want to be like a nerd. And there is what can only be described as lube mixed with Cheeto dust just rubbed over the handle of the sink. So I mean, it's like thick. You can like see the texture of it on the sink handle. So I go to get a tissue, wipe it off, pull it out. Wipe it off. Only tissue that there is. So the sink is now on, and I'm terrified to touch it. So I put my contacts in, elbow it down, run out to you, go to the show. So, no offense to Moose. Moose runs a great room.
The show
was
was
a great show. The show was phenomenal.
Very fun.
But holy fuck, Borders with
one S,
but
a poorly formatted R
with terrible font is
this is shiesty.
A real creep hole.
This place is not code. I have not real quick. Maybe this will be funny. Maybe this won't be. Is there anything in the closet?
Oh, I checked my closet. I always check for a person.
Yeah.
You don't check for a person when you get in there?
Dude,
really? You just walk in and like there's a person.
Dude, if there's a little
box.
Filipino in there, there's like from Ocean's 12. There's this little Japanese man folded up in there.
I can't believe you walk into a place you don't know and they have one person-sized box in the room and you don't check that person-sized box for a person. Like, what if you walked
also
into
didn't
a
check for
room
bed bugs.
and there
Big-
was a
big bugs.
suitcase the shape of a dog, like in the room, just like a suitcase perfectly like a schnauzer, just like molded to it. You wouldn't check that suitcase to see, oh, was there a dog in here?
No, if there's luggage, if there was something in here, that's not luggage. But if there, I love to snoop. I love snooping.
Well, clearly you don't.
There's nothing to snoop in here. Though.
Is there milk in your fridge?
The problem was I assumed they cleaned, but I didn't. Again, I came in here, pooped, left. You did a whole investigatory up and down.
I take the light. I check for bed bugs. I do the whole fucking rigmarole. Like, if you haven't looked for a gun in those drawers, you are living in a fucking fantasy world.
Free gum.
Yeah, if you check, if you
Check.
do the work,
Check in.
there is no.
Check it. So
Holy shit. No, I'm fucking with it. Yeah.
we did the show. It went great. We killed. It was a very good show. There's a young man named Brady, and I don't know his last name, and I apologize, but he did stand up for the first time ever.
Yeah, Brady did a good job.
He did 5 minutes. It was actually very good. I thought he was going to tank the show, but he was like, Joe Biden sucks, and that crushed in this town.
I don't know if you guys have been to Brush, but Joe Biden should pay attention because this town is not fucking going for it.
Which is crazy because their mayor's a woman. It's insane. The guy running the show, Moose, was the mayor and her husband were standing next to each other and like, yeah, that's the mayor. And so Mike goes up to like the husband is like, Mr. Mayor, how are you? Good to see you.
That's not true. That's not true. I thought the guy standing behind them was the mayor.
Oh, that what was?
He was just a big, burly, bearded white guy. And I'm like, this seems like the mayor of the town Brush, Colorado. He just looked like it. Like, and he approached us multiple times. He's like, thank you for coming here. We really appreciate it. It's great. Be careful. The roads used to be dirt, but now we've got some like he gave us like the history of the parking lot of the country club that we were doing. And like he seemed like the mayor. The woman just kind of like just a
I've
quick
been
wave,
to the Holocaust
just
Museum.
and then
That
just
was-
told you that she'd been. That was the only thing she had to say for us. Nothing at all.
But we did so good. How good did we do, Mike?
We did very, very well. Both did our time. Both did a great. And it's what were there? 80 people in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a
Nice,
golf
tight little
club
room.
in a farmer's town. What do you think the industry in Brush is? Isn't it weird it's called Brush when there's no trees around whatsoever? It's just a field.
Yes, and.
All right, what do you think the industry in Brush is?
Agriculture.
That's just
I don't know how to make that funny.
I mean, it's not supposed to be funny. It's just a guess. What do you think? Like, you think it's natural gas? You think
Massage
it's
parlors.
cows? Just sex trafficking? Are we too early to go into why that's? It's
So-
way too early to talk about that.
So we did such a good job.
I guess we have to.
We're both eating hamburgers. This is great for the audio. So we did such a good job. There's a couple in the back right corner, a gentleman of which was having a great time. He kept slamming the table. He was having such a fun time. He was really enjoying himself. And they came up to us after the show. And
No. Before, what was the joke you got him with?
Oh, so I have a joke about how I'm just basically a sitcom wife because I love chocolates, I hate spiders, and I just want to cuddle. I have a headache, not tonight or whatever. But I was saying how if there's a beautiful woman on one side of the bed in lingerie, or the other option was just any man with fingers strong enough to get these knots out of my back. Like, and this guy was like, I'll do it.
He shouted. He's like, "I'll do it."
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'll give you half the money I got tonight just to, I'm tense up here, whatever. Anyways, but he really wanted to massage my back.
Then during my set, I got a little loose around the 40-minute mark, and I'm like, I've got so much more material. Not realizing I had forgotten my 4 longest jokes during it. So I was supposed to do 45. I did 46. I'm like, I'll do this. Let me get a shot. I've got so much. I'm about to get real loose up here. And about 2 minutes before I get off stage, somebody brings me a shot. When we get done, Moose is like, oh, this is the girl that got you a shot. And it's that guy's wife.
Nice young lady. Blonde, long hair, nose ring.
Are we going to talk?
6 out of 10 for brush. For brush, probably a 9.
Brush 8.
So she's a brush 8.
And let's be clear, they're under the age of 39. So they are like, of the people there who aren't there with their parents, they're like the only ones in the demographic. Show gets done. We go to the bar. We're chatting. We're not trying to stand by the door. We're not those comics. We're not like, hey, shake my hand. Tell me how good I did. We're eating the nachos or the chips and salsa that we have, hanging out, having a beer. Who comes up to us?
Gal comes up to us. She's like, I thought you guys did very funny. I bought you the shot. Also, my husband's the guy. He wants to massage your back. Very funny. Come on up. I'm looking at the laptop the whole time. I'm not looking at the camera.
I'm looking at you and me in the mirror right now because you guys can see there's multiple.
Many mirrors.
This is a forever.
Husband comes up. He's like, I'm the one who wants to massage your back. I'm like, hey, man, I'll give you $15.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
I'll give you.
And the answer was, ha, 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 ha. What a time we've had tonight. What a night in Brush. It's a kind of weird, like, yeah. And then they bought us more drinks.
Okay.
And then it was, hey, you were so funny. Shoulder touch, shoulder touch, shoulder touch.
Wife kept touching Michael.
Yeah, she did.
The wife kept touching Mike. Who kept touching me? Who would not keep their paws off me? Who kept saying like, "Oh, it's such a cool sweater. I really like the texture of your sweater. What a cool sweater."
I want to clarify. It got so aggressive that we moved seats. We went and sat down with Moose and the mayor and the dude I thought was the mayor, the military guy. And we're sitting at the table, and they come over and keep talking to us. And we're like, "That's okay. We're like having." And the dude keeps making the back massage jokes with you.
Will not stop talking about touching my back.
And at one point, reaches around your face.
Well, no, but reaches around, grabs my tit.
Oh,
and
that happened first?
Played with my nipple for a second. And
what did he say?
He was like, I could tell you're gay because you're not fighting me off.
God damn.
And I went, hey, man, you're so much stronger than me.
It wouldn't matter if I fought. I couldn't stop you.
Okay. But he's drunk. All right.
And again, Russell, how many drinks have you had at this point?
I'm stone cold sober
0
right now.
I'm on my 7th Coors Light, I think, at this point.
So he touches my tit and my nipple, and then they kind of like back off for a second. But the wife is still right next to Mike, kept touching him.
Yeah, but
kept touching him.
Why do they back off? What are we talking about at that point? What made them pull back? Hey, do you have a good picture? It's of their 7 children.
They got 7 kids.
They have 7 kids. She's telling me like, oh, he's one of 4. No, he's one of 17.
Yeah.
She is one of 14.
And they have 7 kids.
So they like decide to show us this collage of all of them sitting. It's honestly like the old tapestries you see in British museums where like this was the king of 1750 to 1850 and this was the king. It's just this line of children with them in the background. And they're like, these are all of our kids. And then I'm like, that's crazy. I had 2 kids and then I got the chop. But then she says, she goes like, they had said just briefly before, like, oh, she's due in March for like our 8th kid. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. But then she says, I got a hysterectomy. So now we don't know. It's like, oh, are they having another kid or not having another kid? Were they lying because they're like, they don't want us to think that she can get pregnant? Anyway, sorry.
They kept asking us to, they're like, don't go to Borders. Don't go to that hotel.
They said Brush is terrible for hotels.
You got to come stay with us.
Stay with us.
You got to come stay with us. And then me and Mike are like, I think they're trying to lure us back. Anyways, then the husband put his finger in my mouth.
Then he put his finger in my mouth.
He was standing behind me and then just fish hooked me. He fish hooked me like high school dirty wrestling. And I went, hey, man, don't touch me. And he's like, oh, sorry. I was just joking.
No, what you said was, her. And I said, please get your hands off my Jew.
Yeah,
I said, please release him. He's mine.
But yeah, and then they kind of backed off after he fish hooked me. That
cooled it, and they went to the bar and they left us alone for a little bit.
Kept touching me, kept touching my shoulder. I'm like, all right, I'm not making any assumptions. He was just a drunk guy. He played high school football. They're just touchy-feely. Pinched my tit, stroked my nipple, called me gay, like he's being homophobic, and then fish hooked me.
This has been the best show of my entire life.
And then we got McDonald's. And
No. The last interaction we had with them was we're sitting there with the mayor, we're talking to Moose, we're telling stories. I got to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. I come back. I'm walking down past the bar, past the wife, past the husband, and the husband is facing the bar. And as I walk by him, doesn't even look at me, just like just like the little girl being kissed by a guy, like kicks his heel back and just clicks my shin.
Just flirtily.
Just clicks my shin as I walk by, and I turn and look, and he gives me a little like just a little. And that was it. That was didn't give anything back, and we sat down. We had like one more beer, and then we left.
Also, he's the one brown guy in this town, and Mike kept calling him homie.
That is not true. That is a lie. I referred to him once when I asked Moose, "Are there swingers in this town?" He goes, "I don't know. Why do you ask?" I said, "Because homie keeps putting his finger in his mouth." I did not continue referring to him as homie.
I've never heard you say homie in the entire time
I've had
known you.
7 Coors Lights. I'm going to start calling people homie. That's what I do.
Never called anyone.
You Jew. You Joe me.
You called me a BK King. Or you referred to a BK King. You're like, get yourself a nice BK King like my Jew back there. Just kept calling me his Jew.
All right. So we have to reference.
Which I think there's like 4 other comics in the Springs who would fight you over claiming whose Jew I am, which I don't like also.
You're Johnny's Jew. Everyone knows that. You're not mine. You belong to Johnny. He's got so much fucking sway. So we have to reference the reason I'm calling you Jew so much, which I never do in comedy, is because you had like 4 jokes that didn't quite pop, and I think you had about 3 or 4 jokes.
Don't put that on camera.
That really did pop. You had 4 that like just exploded, and 2 of those at least were like, I'm a Jew, my kid's gonna be a Jew, we got to talk about the Jew thing, and they were just like, you were like the first Jew they've ever met. They were so excited that you were there and that you weren't trying to steal them or steal their children or anything like that. They were thrilled. So I normally have a very clear, like, I open with this joke and I do this joke. But I got up there and I'm like, did everyone love my Jew that I brought? And they just went ape shit for it. They were so excited. Like, the bold white guy brought him. He belongs. He's property. Nazi, Nazi, Nazi. It was great. So that's the reason it became like a running bit throughout the entire thing. We gotta have a fun poster
when we do shows together of like you AI generated to be a Nazi and of me being way more Jewish.
Just you in a tunnel, and then like there's like the bit of ground like in the movie poster, and then it's me like standing up top looking down like very upset.
Almost like a rom-com kind of like shoulder buddy thing, but it's me, it's us, but there's an actual like wall because I'm hiding in the... That's not a bad idea.
He's underground and he's in the party. What's gonna happen?
He's underground and he's in the closet. He's in the attic and he's in the closet. Coming next summer.
Oh goddamn! We could sell that. If we just sell that with a straight face, that would be a fucking Oscar winner.
We got it.
That would definitely be it. That'd be right up there with Zone of Interest.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's an Academy Award about a guy who lived next to Auschwitz. Oh. It's about the guy who ran Auschwitz.
He ran the merch shop?
He lived in a white picket fence with like a pool and a green yard, but his backyard backed up to the wall of Auschwitz. And it's about his family lived like a classic American 1950s life, but they backed up to the wall of Auschwitz. Oh, and it's all
like Home Improvement where he's always like, halfway up.
The reason Wilson was behind the fence was the big nose.
He's giving all the Jews advice over the little fence.
Holy fuck. Guys, if you ever make a sequel to Zone of Interest, we got a pitch for you.
You got so many good Jew movie parodies.
When do you put in the We can't put any of this. Oh man.
They're gonna tell us to go to bed. They're gonna come knock on the door.
This is like summer camp. Like,
We're
guys,
gonna get in
it's
trouble.
11. Come on.
Lights out.
We told you lights out 30 minutes. We've been cool.
This is such a weird.
This is the
such-
best. Can we? Here, hold on. Where the sodas?
They're next to me.
Give me a soda.
Moxie. It's the original elixir. Because we got the Moxie. Because we drove up here in a literal. I'm talking into both mics. This is terrible. This is not good audio.
Oh. Here we go.
Well, it's just. Whoa. Whoa. What a degenerate.
Yeah.
Moxie, because we got the Moxie. We drove up here in a literal blizzard.
We just made a Holocaust joke. Moxie soda.
We drove 3 hours
Moxie.
for $40.
Nothing will get those Jew jokes out of your mouth like Moxie soda.
You hated the Mr. Cucumber. So I
Yeah,
hope
what
like,
did you give me? The Mr. Cucumber?
Mr. Cucumber. So I hope you like the Moxie instead.
This is great. It tastes more like Dr. Pepper.
It's almost like Moxie's a weird like in between of a cola and a root beer. I like it. I like a Moxie.
I actually
what
really do
happened
like
to
that.
the audio? Okay, the audio's fine.
Look at the stern
young
man. Not even stern man. A stern young man. This is like a
Cameraman, zoom in on this.
15-year-old. This is a 15-year-old giving you like he's pointing. He's like giving you the finger. He's like, I just caught you talking to a Jew. What are we going to do about this?
How are we gonna make this right?
How are we going to make this right? He's wearing a cravat and he's got the Peaky Blinders shirt collar. This is a man who just
good
caught
logo.
you breaking state laws and is needing some sort of recompense. He's probably going to need to give you a back rub with his wife.
Dude, I don't want to talk about it.
I cannot describe how easily me and Russell could have double teamed this dude and his wife.
The dude was even like jokingly, he was like, I bet you two pal around with each other, and I bet you're the top, and I bet you just kind of lay there, and you just kind of take it.
He made all the jokes.
I was like,
Listen, I have said for years, I have done stand-up for 12 years at this point, something like that. I've never gotten comedy laid. I've never been like, oh, I went to a small town, I crushed it, and then I just like took the mayor's wife home, like whatever. It's never happened for me. This is the time it's like, oh,
if we needed a place to stay genuinely,
they were
just
like,
need to
oh no,
hog
you
out
shouldn't
this
stay.
woman.
You just have to give us our 15th child. We could have done it. Now I mean that's not true. Greeley or not Greeley? Who's the couple that fucks everybody in Pueblo? Pueblo. There's a couple in Pueblo that will bang literally any comic. If you
Except
guys.
me.
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah, they turned me away gingerly. Not that he turned me away. It
It's
wasn't
so
like,
good. I love
but,
it.
Yeah, they're like, everyone don't drive all the way back up to the Springs. Stay here. And when I went up to talk to them, I was like, okay, they're going to try to have sex with me. I'll turn them down gentle. It'll be funny. It'll be a good story. And they were like, you're very funny. You have a safe drive up. Get home
You
safe.
have a safe drive up.
I was like,
Wear a condom.
You're not even going to ask? I don't know.
Yeah, they have a hot tub. They have a whole like move. Like everyone's like, they invite you over to stay because like the hotel's not safe. Then they're like, oh my gosh, let's all go have a drink in the hot tub. That'll be fun. And then in the hot tub, the wife like shows you her boobs. And then like they see if you're interested. And then the wife comes and sits with you. And then
And
the
they're,
husband
like,
comes and sits with you.
74. They're not
yeah,
young.
at this point, they're definitely in their least 60s. Least.
Easily. And it's a rough 60. It's not a good.
It's a Pueblo 50.
It's so wild too, because it's not like, I don't know. Imagine like a CPA. It was just like, I'm gonna suck you. Like it's not like it's just like any librarian, but not like a genuine just a librarian.
A Brooklyn librarian. Like a Brooklyn who's there for like when they were filming the movies about Brooklyn in the 70s.
You know what I think it is? It's the posture. They got terrible posture.
Oh yeah, they've
have
lived
lingerie,
under a
but
cloud of
also
smog that's
to
so
also
low
be
they duck.
punched. Be like, checking my low swangers.
So they didn't want you.
No.
But my God, the blonde and the
Dude, the blonde didn't want me at all. She kept touching your shoulders.
oh my God! For a second, I thought you had bed bugs. It's just burger bits. I think
It's just
From where you
onions.
said it. I about had a panic attack. I'm terrified of bed bugs. It's my worst fear.
Don't worry,
I
it's
will-
just onions because I'm eating in this bed because how much worse can it get?
No matter where Russell goes, there's bed stains. It's just not always from the guy's wife. I honestly, I'm like, this is it. Finally, it's happened, and they want to share me with Russell.
I'm the peanut butter to your jelly.
You are the sourdough to my peanut butter and jelly. I am all the flavor in this. You are a sweater and a guy to
I'm
hold
your
the camera.
marbled rye to your pastrami and Swiss.
Like, yeah, we like to have two guys because we want him to hold the camera and you to nail us both.
What was I just gonna kind of hang out?
No, dude,
You know probably what it was. It was probably like, okay, Mike, you take the wife. Russell, you go play Switch downstairs with the 7 kids. We just need a babysitter. You seem trustworthy. Every time
You're not going to fuck our kids.
we just need a guy to hang out with.
You
Stephanie.
already established you don't even fuck your own wife. You're not going to fuck our kids. I swear, listen, no, this seems like hyperbole because I've had a couple of drinks. We just did a show. We're
I'm
high
sober.
on life. I cannot overstate to the audience right now. I'm going to look directly into the lens.
The two gals from
husband
church
was so ready to fuck Russell. He was
not stop touching
he put his finger in his. I spoke up. I go, hey,
Mike
knock
really
it
big
off.
brothered. I appreciated
That's
it.
mine. It's my property. I went full prison on him.
Mike just said you have to pay me. Before
I said, if you want to put your finger in his mouth, you've got to pay me first.
Yeah.
And the dude laughed, and then made like 2 seconds of too long eye contact with me. Like he's like, I've got the money. I can do this. So I really want to remember this. Russell definitely could have fucked this dude.
Hey,
Anyone who thinks
Tell your
Russell's
friends.
not progressive,
I'm not.
but he had the option to be.
I should
and
have
he
done it just
turned
to be
down.
an ally. No one can be mad about how I book my shows. I sucked this guy.
Do you want to talk about that?
No.
You don't want to talk about
I'm-
what a problem you are? What an issue with the community you've become?
Genuinely, everyone loves me. Pike's Punks is a great show.
I'm leaving
Tell your
grease
friends.
stains on your mirror. Look, Jesus Christ, look at this. This is how greasy I am. I can leave a...
It's like a Brillo pad. You're going to wear down the mirror right where you're at. We're going to be able to see to the other side. For the
Ew!
What?
That is like, I need to go take a fucking shower. That is disgusting. All right, so...
That's probably just the grease from the mirror.
How would you feel the show went tonight on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being bad, 10 being you fucked this dude's wife.
Well, it'll be a 10 in about 20 minutes when they pull up. No, I think it was good for my first 30. I think it went very well. I think there was definitely. I think there's four jokes specifically that.
You've got pubes in your mic.
There's 4 jokes specifically that I'm like I could do better. Like I either need to rewrite these a little bit. I need to tighten these jokes up, or I just need to replace it. But I think for 30 minutes, I think
You murdered. You did great. You did great.
I think
you were a
most
hit.
of it was very good.
Yeah.
There was some stuff that they didn't click with. Like, I talk about my wife's Polynesian, and people confuse that with polyamorous. And I don't think they knew
Yep,
what
they didn't
either
get
of
that.
those words meant.
2 people laughed. 2 people thought it was hilarious. 2 people really got it.
2 people really liked
I
the
realized
poly
they
stuff.
really did laugh at that joke.
They
They,
really
thought,
were
they thought it was the best. Nobody else. Town of Farmers, everyone like, he's explained it, but I don't.
I'm not getting it.
This is a joke. People do this. They
And
got
then
it.
I talked about how if you drink a beer with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you definitely hit your kids.
I didn't like that.
And Mike was like, this entire town drinks beer with their PB&Js.
I didn't like that at all.
But for the most part, I did get booed. I got booed for
no,
jokingly.
One person semi-jokingly was like, "Boo."
But Mike did a joke about Pokemon that would you be shocked? Cut. Not even
I
like
didn't like it.
just deer in the headlights. People were like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. No one knew what the hell a water type meant. That
Yeah,
was so confusing.
They didn't like that. And then I got a legitimate hiss.
Yeah, you got hissed at like a villain in a play.
Because I have 3 jokes that are about abortion. They're not abortion jokes. I'm not like, oh, then she killed the baby. But like I just tell 3 jokes that like it's like a reference point in it. And I did one and it was okay. It like did fine. And then I did the second one. I'm like, we can do this, guys. Like everyone stay with me. And it didn't hit at all. They did not care for it. They did not like it. And then I'm like, all right, we're gonna do one more. And I hear this. Sss. And so I like continue the joke. And then I hear it like I do my first pause, and there's like a little. I'm like, okay, I know what this is. I know there's somebody that doesn't like this. So I continue with it, and like every time I pause, it's just. And the joke still did okay.
Still did fine.
Still fine.
I can't look at you because if I look at you, I just look at the milk. I'm just eyeballing this milk.
Do you think that's a swinger thing? It's like, oh, are you a milk
like
and cornflakes kind of guy?
Pineapple.
They check if you bring it to the counter, they know you're like, oh, you're down to fuck. Like this guy brought the milk and the cornflakes. If you just bring the milk, they know it's like, oh, it's just a scam. But like, he brought them both.
They're just
How much would it cost? We got paid pretty well for this show.
Yeah.
How much would it cost for you to eat both?
If you gave me all of the money you got for the show.
I'm not giving you all the money.
If you gave me all the money you got for
what
the
if
show.
I gave you $100?
No.
You wouldn't eat the milk and the cornflakes for $100?
No. It's genuinely, the milk doesn't even look like someone drank out of it where there's like a film around.
No, it looks
undisturbed. If you gave me $400.
Okay, but here's the thing. The milk also, you have to ask the question is like, where's the rest of the milk? The guy remembered to take the carton, or the maids came and they're like, we'll get the carton of milk, but we're going to leave the cup. There's a mystery around all this. Where's the box of cereal?
Where's the spoon?
Where's the spoon? Where is any of this? It's just a glass of milk and a bowl of cornflakes. Where's the rest of the milk?
My daughter goes out of the way to let the cereal get as soggy as possible so she can slurp it, and boy, do I hate it, baby. It's the worst thing. Most things don't really, like when it's like baby stuff like boogers or vomit, I don't care. It really doesn't affect me at all. My daughter, if she chews something and spits it out in her hand, I freak out. I can't deal. She could vomit in her hand and I'd be fine. But if she chews and spits, I can't stand it for whatever reason.
I like how like boogers and vomit, baby stuff. You would be a great like helper at a hospital or at an insane asylum. Like boogers and vomit, human shit, that's baby stuff.
Effluvia does not bother me.
He's chewing it up. Yeah. Disgusting. Gross.
Yeah, effluvia is all good.
What is effluvia?
It's bodily fluid. Effluvia.
Like a beautiful band's name.
So it's like, it's not like piss and shit. It's like, oh, it could also be spit. It also could be ejaculate. It could also be any kind of bodily fluid, blood. So if there's like a puddle of effluvia, that could be a whole petri dish of.
Effluvia was the girl at the bar's name.
It is a beautiful name.
It's beautiful. Effluvia. Oh yeah. And his name is Rectum. I don't know. I feel like we're done. I feel like this is it. Are we supposed to do more?
We've done 40 minutes. We got to do at least.
We got to do at least an hour. All right, we can cut this. I have to pee. Can we pee? Can we just take a quick break and I can pee?
Quick pee break. I'll vamp.
You're just gonna talk?
Well, we'll see. No, we'll see. We'll see if I can vamp or not. I haven't done it. I don't think anyone would listen if it was like Russell does a podcast by himself. But I also don't think that having guests on is helping the like viewership. I don't think that's getting people on. It's like, oh, cool. Mike's on. Mike's my favorite comedian. I'm going to tune in when I otherwise wouldn't have. You know? So would it actually change anything if it was just me by myself versus having a guest? They don't share the posts. They don't share the TikToks. They don't put it on their story. They're not helping. None of you are helping. But yeah, the same 20 people watch this every week. I appreciate all of you. My brother. Thank you.
Truth.
What?
Tell the truth about how many people watch this.
I'm good. My brother. Thank you. The gals who cut my hair, I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want to dox you on accident. The gals who cut my hair, you know who you are. Thank you very much. My old coworker, Patrick. That's generic enough. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate it. Thad. I know Thad listens. Thad, I am good.
Jason, Cameron.
I don't think Thad. I am gonna have you on. I don't know.
Brian, I know you're watching this.
Brian,
you pretend you don't watch this, but I know you watch this.
In no way watches or listens or cares about me in any way, shape, or form.
Pay Russell. You owe Russell for the show, and he's told me it's been 3 weeks and you haven't paid him. What the fuck are you doing?
I did win.
He won, and you're mad about it. We get it. A white guy won. Everyone's upset. Nobody likes it. Still need to pay him. That would go too far. Have I ruined your shot?
You've cost me that $20. I'm never gonna see. It is also I won the roast battle. Who cares? I don't know. I don't think so. It's never been covered. I haven't won before. I don't know if the winner gets more money.
He definitely does. Yeah.
But I would like any.
How much were you supposed to get?
I don't know.
You don't even know how much you're supposed to get?
The last time I did the roast battle was for the Springs Festival, and so because it's a festival, you don't get paid. But then also the time I did it before that was in 2021.
It's amazing. He thinks nobody at the festival got paid. He didn't get paid.
Genuinely,
we got paid.
There's a certain club owner in town who owes me like $100, and I've just never bothered asking.
What's this club owner's first name?
It's Eric.
Oh, wow. It sounds like you're trying to start a real rift between Bubble Boy and the club that Eric owns. Why are you taking such a strong stance against the club that Eric owns? Is it a shitty club?
I would only because
there's no way to win this.
No, I'm not even trying to dance around it. I'm trying to be funny.
If you guys don't know, if you're one of his hairdressers, there's 2 clubs in town. They're both owned by a guy named Eric.
Yeah. One of them's out of business.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got Thad, we have my brother, my mom. My sister-in-law's mom also.
Your sister-in-law's mom.
My brother's wife's mom. I know she listens. Thank you. I think there's an odd and end person from church, which
I'll listen.
Mike has listened. He listened to the one he's on.
And
over
Jason's.
and over and over.
And Jason's. I listened to
Jason's.
Jason's was good. I want to listen to Johnny's next.
He only listens to the right wing.
He's
He's not listening to John Bueno because he's too communist.
You're the Rush Limbaugh of Colorado Springs.
Dude,
I'm honestly shocked you didn't open this with "Welcome, Patriots."
I covered this in the episode.
Did you do
with
another
Cameron. Well, no, I covered this in the episode with Cameron, but in my MySpace top 8.
Oh, I saw that clip.
Okay.
I did. Yeah.
I had
4 girls you were trying to talk to, and then Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity.
It was Glenn Beck was the one I forgot, but there's a local guy in town, Rich Randall.
I don't know that.
I think it's Rich Randall, but yeah, it was just like it was those guys, and then 3 girls I was talking to, and then like the UFC or something was like the other big one. Dude, I don't know. Dude, I don't know if you ever do this. We've talked about like I've gone back and looked at like my first Facebook messages with my wife, and I think you like have a screenshotted like your first conversation with Carrie on like Tinder or wherever you guys met.
I did at one point, and it was like me telling her like, cut class, come see this movie with me. That was our first date. She skipped class to go see Cabin in the Woods with me. And I remember, like, I convinced her at a lunch, and then I smoked a cigarette in front of her, and she was just, like, disgusted, but she just needed my body.
You're too good.
She went with, like, I cannot believe my wife fucking married me. I was such a piece of shit at the time. So I'm smoking cigarettes. I'm like, come, cut class, come see Cabin in the Woods with me. I think I was in my 4th year as a sophomore or something like that. Just a mess of a human being. But, yeah, I like, somewhere there's a screenshot in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a very cool, humbling move you can do if you're ever getting too cocky is any girl you had a crush on in 2012, find those Facebook messages, scroll all the way back, and just reread them. Hey, any women that I maybe Facebook messaged or MySpace messaged anytime in middle school to 10th grade to sophomore year,
Sorry.
I'm so deeply sorry. I was not in my right head. The testosterone was flooding my body. It was a weird thing because it was like horny texting, but it was still like there weren't girls that I was in a relationship with, so I was still trying to like court them. But it was like Christian gentlemanly horny texting where I'm like, I just thought you looked so beautiful today. You seem well. You look nice today. Just like serial killer, one text, no reply.
We are an
It's pretty
entire
brutal.
generation of like young conservative boys that are being raised by their great grandfathers. There's been no change in like, how do you talk to a woman? It's like, well, you rub the apple on your armpit and then you offer her a bite because the sweat will increase her feminine urge and her. It's like liberals are crushing it, but none of them are having any kids. Conservatives were like barely knocking out one girl to get her pregnant, but then when we do, we have like 7. We're just barely dragging it across the line with like the one dude who can talk to a girl. It's brutal. It's brutal. We have got to be like better about like, yeah, it's okay to like tell your girlfriend she looks hot today and give her a little pat on the ass kind of a thing. Like, it's fine. We were so awkward and so terrible and so.
I'm bad now. I can't be sexy, sexual, anything with my wife now because she'll be like, hey, I was thinking about you today. And I was like, what were you thinking about? My big old wangus? A waka waka waka. Like I can't take it seriously. wait. I want so desperately to be a hot, alluring guy. But then I think like if there's ever like any kind of like sexy talk, I think in my head I'm seeing myself trying to be sexy. I'm too self-aware where I'm like, look at you. Look at the sweater you're wearing. Think about what your stomach looks like and how low your nipples hang. Like, you're not sexy.
Oh, you
so
don't have body positivity for yourself.
No.
Oh, that's never been it. My problem is always I'm like, I have like, you have your sex life and then you have like your sex fantasy and you kind of like as you get older like and you try to merge them a little bit. You don't want to go too crazy. You're not going to do like your deepest, wildest, craziest shit you imagine, but you kind of like, what if we tried this? What if you tried this? Anytime I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, I want you to try this. I want you to wear this. I want you to do this. In my head, there's always a voice like, what if HR gets a hold of this? It's like, what if your company gets a recording of this and they hear it and they're like, we can't have this man working at our company.
This man loves his wife.
It doesn't matter.
Ew.
Like, listen, Mike, we know you're married. It doesn't matter who you said this to. The fact that you want her to do that with that there is disgusting. And quite frankly, we've referred you to the. It's like this weird like just energy that like you grow up conservative. You're like, you can't like this. You can't like, it's missionary and it's at your house and maybe there's a cross over the bed. Like, that's it. That's all you get. So yeah, my entire like sexual fantasy has been condensed down to like, what if my grandma hears about this? What if Carrie? What if I say this?
Grandma, have you seen this? Have you read about this?
I butt dialed my grandma at the time, and she hears this, and this is what does it.
One time, my dad accidentally butt dialed me while he was talking about how disappointed in me he was.
No.
And I think it was like he was saying my name
during sex.
No. His grades are too low. I'm close.
I can't even finish. Russell makes me so disappointed. I'm just going to sit here and you until you fall asleep.
I can't even get it up at the thought of Russell quitting drum lessons.
He's just a saggy stack of spaghetti marinating in this woman. And the only thing...
That's my mother.
You wish it was your mother. The only thing keeping him or her from experiencing any pleasure is the fact that you couldn't fucking remember your lines in the school play.
I kept clapping off beat.
Oh, God damn it. That's a clip. That's it. That's it right there. I got to stop saying it, but it is. Holy fuck. So is this just going to be another? I'm like Mike Hammock, first bubble boy. Mike Hammock also sixth bubble boy.
Yeah, it's
I love it. Great. That's great.
Guess real quick.
I should be the only recurring guest you have.
Just every 9 episodes.
You
it's
can't
Mike
tell me
again.
this is not more fun than fucking Jason Alexander's.
Jason, I love talking to you. I love hanging out with you.
I also
I
enjoy
thought
this.
our episode was going to be the worst one, only because we talk about Christ and the church for so long that I'm like, no one wants to hear this. But many people told me it's their favorite listen so far.
It was a good one. I listened to it on the way up to Grand Junction.
We bullied you.
Yeah, you bullied me. You told me I had body dysmorphia.
Prove me wrong.
I don't know.
Pull it out.
Look at me. I don't know. Like, so Russell says this because I told Russell and his wife, who is the meanest person I've ever met, that I love and
you,
respect,
babe.
and she is the best. And I literally, you left the party today, and I told you that every time him and his wife leave a party that we're at, I always look at the camera and go, they're my favorite. I love them so much.
We're a hoot.
Yeah. If you die, I'm taking care of Lydia. If Lydia dies, we're taking care of you. That's as far as I can take that claim. But I told Russell that I made the mistake of telling him, like, oh, yeah, I stay in shape. I run every day. I work out. And I just set a limit for myself. If I ever hit a certain weight, I then go, okay, this is the max weight I'm allowing myself to be. I am now going to diet and increase my exercising until I get back down to my normal weight. And then I'll go right back to my normal eating and everything like that. That doesn't seem crazy to me.
You said you have a 3-pound limit that you let yourself fall
I said I
within.
generally weigh about 175. And if I ever get up to about 178, that's like my line. I'm like, okay, I'm never going to be 180. Unless I start like putting on a bunch of muscle, which is not going to happen. I don't put on muscle. So I'm like, that's it. So you and Lydia both looked at each other. The hamburgers fell out of your mouths. And
Right.
you go, only a 3 pound. I fluctuate 3 pounds in a day. I'm like, yeah, so do I. But like 175 is like the limit for my day. Normally I'm like down like 172, 173. I get up to 175. Sure, I weigh around there.
Mike, what you do, genuinely, this is what you do. I'm going to give you real advice, is you just let yourself get to the fattest you've ever been. Feel bad about it, and then continue to make the same decisions you were making before.
The number one killer in this country is like heart disease and diabetes, and everyone's like, it's crazy that you don't even give yourself any leeway. It's like, you fucks have all given yourself nothing but leeway, and we can't afford national health care because you won't do a fucking sit-up.
We can't afford national health care because...
We could. If everyone did what I do, the entire nation could afford national health care. It would be like a $12 a month. It would be fucking nothing. I smoke, and I still am the healthiest person in my entire fucking family.
That's true. Also, stop smoking.
Oh my God, how good is a cigarette?
You keep
sound
saying
right
you're going to
now?
stop, and then you keep doing it. It'd be fine if you were just smoking, but you keep talking about quitting, and then you keep quitting.
I only smoke when I do comedy.
That's not quitting.
Yeah, I do a fair amount of comedy.
Sorry, you get booked so much. Get that out of your mouth. I'm gonna get demonetized. I swear to God, even as a bit, if you light up in this hotel room, I will freak out. I'm gonna be so mad.
I want to. I want you to know the only thing that stopped me is the no, thank you for not smoking sign right there. Like and then the fact that right above it is a fire.
It's the same reason school shootings don't happen anymore, because all those signs that say "Thank you for not
finally
killing
did
anyone."
it. They did it. We figured it out.
No
All you
guns
need
allowed
is a
has stopped
stern
all
right.
the shootings.
Have you seen the commercial in which, I don't know for what country or what state or whoever promotes it, but it's like a kid is sitting at a school and he's like bored and he's looking down like the library and he like scratches, "I'm so bored." And then he comes back the next day and somebody's scratched, like a girl, clearly it's like nicer handwriting, is like, "Hi bored, I'm Erica." And then he scratches a little message back. And like it goes back and forth, this kid showing up at the
He
library.
scratches, "Don't come to school tomorrow."
No. So he's scratching this whole time, and he's like they have a little conversation, and then it's them like she signs his yearbook, and he recognizes her handwriting. He's like, "You're Erica?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'm bored." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's great." And then in the background of the gym, where there's that is a door bursts open, and it's just racks a shotgun, and they both run screaming as he fires into the crowd. And then it's like, while you were watching Board and Erica, Derek was showing signs of a school shooter. And they show you the scene. And in the background, Eric is like cleaning a knife. And like, when they're scrolling through social media, he's like got a gun pointed at the screen. And you legitimately do miss it. But it's like, just a wild amount of overselling like anyway. You never find out what happens to Board and Erica, but you have to assume that one of them gets
You
it.
gotta assume it was for the worst. When I worked front desk at a certain hate group ministry.
Oh, when you were the desk lady at Focus on the Family.
When I was the front desk lady at Focus on the Family, which was not a secret, but I didn't advertise that publicly.
That you were the desk lady at Focus on the Family?
But people keep bringing it up, so now I just have to own it.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How many babies were dropped off with you?
At Focus?
Yeah, like you're the front desk lady at Focus on the Family. You're not telling me not one pregnant teen dropped off their newborn baby with you?
No, what would happen? Because I was just at the Welcome Center where they would have like the slide and the ice cream shop.
Yeah, it seems like a place a kid would love.
Moms would come with their kids and then like sign in and then like start heading for the door. And I go like, hey, whoa, where are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm dropping them off. And I'm like, no. This is not a daycare where you have to be here. Like, no, but I have a doctor's appointment. I'm not bringing my kids. I'm like, I don't care. You're not leaving your kids here.
So you were the stern desk lady.
Oh, dude, it was very fun because there was a big slide. If you don't know, Focus on the Family is like a hate group, whatever. They had a 3-story slide in an ice cream shop, and that's all that really matters.
It's just like the Third Reich.
How bad could it be? They had a soft serve.
It's the zone of interest of family groups.
So they had a 3-story slide, and you had to be tall enough.
Right into the ovens.
Right to the chambers. What? Bring it back to home. So you had to be this tall to ride the slide, and people would come from all over the nation. They would drive like 16 hours through the night to come to Focus on the Family. Why? I have no idea. But they would go and they're like, oh, we heard all about the 3-story slide. So they would get to the top and like their youngest kid wasn't tall enough. Okay. And they would come to the front desk and they would yell at me. They would yell at me of like, the kid at the top of the slide said, Jonathan can't go down. I'll be good and gosh darned if my kid's not tall enough to go on that slide.
Now, it's been a long time. This is a tube slide. It's an enclosed
tube
inside.
Slide.
It's a tube. It's inside a building.
That goes maybe 4 miles per hour.
And you guys put a height limit on it.
For insurance reasons.
Right.
You can't. People were throwing their toddlers down there before, and they're coming out.
I mean, that's
all
fair.
kinds of cross-eyed.
That's fair.
So there's a height limit. Parents would come up.
To be fair, you shouldn't have put the baptism pool at the bottom, being like, you only get saved if you get down the slide.
We make Christianity radical.
Yeah, we did.
But yeah, they would come and complain to me, and they would like, if they were nice about it, I'd be like, all right, here's what. Take like a roll of quarters, or I don't know, take some tissues, ball it up, put it in his shoe. If it gives him that little half inch, like if they're close enough, I'll let them go down. I don't really care. But if they were nasty about it, I don't care if you've driven through the Bering Strait from Russia to Alaska. I'm not letting your kid down the slide. And I did get to do the like beautiful like cliche thing of like, I'd like to speak to your manager. I'm like, hold on, let me go get him, and then I can do a 360 in the chair and be like,
that's so good.
I am the manager.
That's so good.
You're not going down the slide. But anyway, why did I bring that up?
This story you've told me before, and I want everyone to hear it. Tell everyone about the frying pan at Focus on the Family.
I don't know what you're talking about.
About the fact that you had no protection from shooters.
Okay, so this is what I want to talk about. Okay,
this is what you're talking about.
This was the end part of that, but
all right.
So at Focus on the Family,
real quick background. New Life Church, big church in Colorado Springs, had a shooter in it. The guard had to shoot the shooter, save everyone's life. There have been multiple instances of like people walking into churches, especially in Colorado Springs, we're a big church town, and like trying to blast everybody. So
also, just Colorado, known for its shootings.
Kobe, Columbine, that's all we got.
Legalize weed. The Incline. never get to seeing your friends and family again.
Those are the two things we use to cope with all of the shooters. It's exercise and marijuana.
So, focus on the family, both because it is a ministry and both because it was technically a hate group. Let's get it out of the way. It's still on my resume. It hindered
Southern
me.
Poverty Law Center, whatever that is.
It stopped me from getting a job for a long time. But so they would get like bomb threats and death threats and threats constantly. And because I was the front.
Nobody wanted people that focus on the family to fuck their wife in Brush, Colorado. There wasn't one offer the entire time he was there to take this woman who'd pumped out 7 children and just nail her in the truck. But here we are.
Once a year, they would have like everyone in the staff. They would watch something called Run, Hide, Fight. I think it's from like the FBI or something like. I don't know what it is.
There's actually the Daily Wire made a movie called just that.
Is that true?
Yeah, and it's about a girl fighting off a school shooter.
Okay, so it is, but
with Scooby-Doo tricks.
Like an anvil drops behind
her.
No,
like it was school prank day when he came to shoot up the school, and so at one point she tricks one of the school shooters into sliding down like a slippery
She Home Alones
the school shooter.
He trips on marbles and like whoa.
It's slippery soap on some stairs. So he's like, whoa. Run, Hide, Fight. The Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro, you're the man.
So, did you hear his rap?
Oh yeah. Just facts, straight facts. Number 1 song on iTunes
for
like,
a day.
No. He did a what is your Jew holiday where the Hanukkah. He's like, oh, we're still the number
Yom
1 song
Kippur.
7 days later. The oil still burns. Like
Jesus.
I think it was 12 days they made it. That's how long the rap oil burned for Shapiro.
Which isn't he on the record saying like rap is not music?
He said
like it's definitional.
He said rap wasn't music, and then when people tried to explain to him that Wet Ass Pussy was the best song in the world and was the number 1 song for like 6 weeks, he's like, I don't know what a wet ass pussy is. But
like my wife's dry as hell.
He's like, my wife definitely doesn't have one.
You could sharpen a pencil down there. So
it is a sandy creek and a pencil sharpener down there. Those are the only 2 holes.
So focus on the face.
He calls his wife's vagina Sandy Hook.
Michael. Shame.
Because it's produced more dead kids.
I don't even think the mic picked that.
No.
Did you do that? So focus on the family. They would make us watch this infomercial called Run, Hide, Fight. That's about if a shooter comes in, if you can run. If you can't run, you hide. If you can't hide or he finds you, then you fight him off. Run, hide, fight. But the way the video opens is a guy walks into an office building, pulls out a shotgun, and blasts the front desk lady away. Just like puts a canoe straight through the middle of her head. And that's how it starts. So whenever they would do Run, Hide, Fight, they're like, thank you, Russell, for sacrificing your life for the rest of us. So there's like a couple of the focus on the family had multiple buildings. So the main actual like front office building, they put in bulletproof glass in front of the front desk lady's face, and they have underneath the desk you can drop down and hide underneath it, and it is like Kevlar reinforced. So if they would try to shoot through the desk, there's like essentially body armor protecting the person who hides under the desk.
Barbara.
And what did they do for my front desk, where like the children and the families are, where they would definitely go to shoot up a place, not the office building? They did literally nothing. They did genuinely nothing. So it was just like, if someone comes in to kill you, you're dead. Hopefully the gunshot from Russell getting hit is loud enough to warn everyone else to flee.
Every time I hear this story, I'm just blown away. But like, we got to protect the accounting department. That needs all of the security, bulletproof glass. But the place that like tourists go, the place when you think of focus on the family, like that's where you're gonna go.
Where
I'm gonna
infants
go shoot
and
up
toddlers
focus on
are.
the family.
Yeah,
Russell's there.
Couldn't care less.
With what did you have to protect yourself?
I had a cast iron skillet that I kept under the desk, just so that if someone was to shoot and I ducked under, maybe it would be just because there's always the thing of like, and then my uncle got shot, but he had a Bible right in his breast pocket.
He had a flask, right there.
Then it hit. I'm like, if I duck under someone's shoes, maybe this cast iron skillet is just big enough to take the buckshot, and I can survive. Then he would just walk around the desk and shoot me the other way.
Yeah, like, I missed.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe give me 30 seconds to like call my wife. I don't know.
Did you quit or were you fired?
I quit. Yeah, I quit.
And when you quit, did you pick up the skillet, slap it on the desk? You're like, I quit.
No, I wish.
Everyone's like, why do you have that?
Dude, it was so, it was already weird working there. But I did get in trouble a lot.
Did you do a magic trick when you quit? You're like, I quit, and then fire flames out of your hand.
I turned a staff into a serpent.
Scream and run out of the room.
But I got in trouble because that's also people who know my lore. I was working at Focus on the Family and at Comedy Works at the same time. So it was real weird to go from
you have a wild backstory.
Yeah, it was real weird to go to a place where like people laid hands on me one day because I get migraines and they tried to like pray it out of me.
And then also Focus on the Family was weird too.
Which the laying of hands did not work at all. And then I drove to Comedy Works and watched someone do coke for the first time. I'm like, what is happening in my life? Why is this here? But yeah, I got in trouble at Focus for heresy one time. Did I tell you about this?
I feel like you have, maybe.
I got in trouble for heresy because we were going around circle and we were all saying what our favorite Bible verses were. And everyone's like, I like the ones where Jesus is nice to kids or whatever. And I said, I like the one where the prophet Elisha summons 2 bears to maul children to death.
Yeah.
For calling him bald.
That is a good one.
It is very funny. And yeah, I got in trouble because they're like, Russell lied about the Bible. I'm like, you don't even know what's in it.
During the prayer session.
Yeah. I thought it was funny and factual, which who doesn't love? That's a double hitter. But no, they thought I lied and made it up. So they got reported to my boss and to her boss.
Isn't it
that I was being
wild
heretical because I was taking it not seriously.
Bible been around for 2,000 years. Everyone who has like dedicated their life to the Bible has had the opportunity to read it straight through. You can get through the Bible in a year. You read like a chapter, a couple pages a day. You get through it in a year. Not impossible. I've probably gone through the Bible, not straight ever, but I probably read the entire thing like 3 times in my life, probably. I think I know just about all of the stories. I've heard them all at least a couple of times in church reading it. But you're like, oh yeah, remember when the dude summoned the bears to
kill the
children?
kids?
And they're like, that's ridiculous.
Well, it's because they all just, Focus on the Family. They just read the Action Bible, where it's like, no, God flooded the Garden of Eden. God flooded the earth. Noah's Ark.
Jesus.
Jump right to Jesus.
No, they do Jericho. Maybe they do
Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel, Jericho.
Right to Jesus.
Jesus. And then Jesus straight to Revelations.
Yeah. And it's so no one actually knows what's going on in that.
Samson's in
that
there.
whole book.
What's your favorite story in the Bible?
This is a great question, and I'm glad you've asked it. And this is the hot kind of information people are tuning in to this podcast for.
People are sitting there listening and goes, listen, I like that they didn't fuck the wife.
But what is...
But
why
get to the Bible. Didn't they fuck the wife? What is the story? Please be Samson and the whore.
There's a point, I think... I don't know if I made this up or if this is a real thing. This might be her. But I think there's a point in Samson where he has a action hero catchphrase where he's like, with the jawbone of an ass, so I've made asses of men, because he kills 100 men with a donkey's jawbone. I
just gave those Christians so much shit for not knowing the Bible. I do know he killed 100 Philistines with the jawbone of an ass.
Yeah, but I think he has an action line in it, and I don't know if that was from the Action Bible or if that's from the real Bible.
That feels very Marvel-y. It feels a little bit like I Am Iron Man.
Yes.
It feels very like if Robert Downey Jr. were to do it, he'd be like, I am Samson, and then he would start cutting away.
I like the more depressing, like Ecclesiastes, Love is probably my favorite.
I don't
book.
want your favorite book of the Bible. I want your favorite story of the Bible.
My favorite story is probably Job.
You like Job?
I like Job. And people usually, when they talk about Job, they're like, I like Job because God took everything away, but he proved that he was loyal, and so God gave him back everything tenfold, and that's the story of Job.
Nope.
I don't like that.
Not
I
at
like the
all.
part where God's... How do I put this in a way that is... I want to say revelatory, but that's not the right word. Something that is like, it's keeping God... Reverence. It's in reverence to our Lord, God, Savior. But, like, there's a part where God's kind of being a dick, where Job's like...
you mean when God gambles with the devil and is like, I'm going to murder all these kids that Job has?
No, even at the end of Job, where Job's like, why did you do this? Why did you kill my wife and children? Why did you ruin everything? Why'd you take everything from me? And God's like, oh, that's right, because you were there when I like built the world, when I was there all of creation. Oh, you weren't? That's so funny, Job. Oh, because I was there. I was there at the beginning of
Don't
time.
you fucking question me. Listen here, you little piece of shit. I am a Marine sniper unit leader.
He does copy pasta. But it's like the behemoth and the Leviathan is like, yeah, because you know all about like these creatures in the depths and in the heights of, oh, that's right, you don't know.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right, you don't know about that, Job.
Are you the Alpha and the Omega? You little piece of shit.
Oh, that's me. Oh, I am that so I love that the actual moral to the story of Job is you don't know because you're not God.
Yeah.
God never explains like why I did this, why I took everything from you. The point at the end where it's like it gives him tenfold is kind of just like Job is poetry. So it's just kind of a nice rounding out of the story.
Yeah.
But I like that it's just like, why do bad things happen to good people? It's like, because God says so.
Job always fucked me up theologically because it was like, oh, in the Bible, God kills all of Job's kids. And then at the end, God replaces the kids. Doesn't restore, doesn't bring them back to life. He replaces them. Job gets new kids.
Hotter kids.
New, hotter, sexier, toner kids. More ethnic
Supple.
to match the times that he lives in. A little bit less Assyrian, a little bit more Babylonian, if you know what I mean. Very, very weird. Really bummed me out about the whole thing. Brings probably all of my doubts about Christianity come from the book of Job, which is a real downer for me.
I love the questions. I love the not knowing.
Yeah, I think there's something really, really genuine about having a faith where you're like, I've got some real doubts about this.
I think it's healthy.
Yeah, I think
important.
so too. But my favorite story in the Bible.
Keep talking. One second. I just got to check the battery.
That vibrator's gonna keep going. I can feel it. It's still operating.
We're still a buzzing. we still got 2 bars. I'm getting better at not letting the camera die.
I asked this question. I didn't actually have a good. I have my favorite book. My favorite book of the Bible is Proverbs by far. Best.
Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, Job.
Nothing but good advice.
If
you are the most devout atheist, read the book of Proverbs and just get some great fucking banger quotes out of there.
There's this video series called The Bible Project, if you've not watched them. Very good. Really great. They're like beautifully animated, but they talk more about like the Bible as it actually is than what you hear in Sunday school, even when you're 45 and you're still hearing the same. Anyways, they talk about like
that is my entire problem. I go to church with Carrie. I'm like, I have heard the story of Joseph
1,000 times in the same way every single time.
We went and tried out a new church, and we're like, let's go back to this place. Let's try it out. And the dude gets up on stage, and he's like, I was reminded of the story of the 3 little pigs. And how the first pig builds his house out of straw. And I'm like, I swear to God, if this ends with building your house on strong foundations, I will shoot up this church. I was like, I swear, I'm a fucking 37-year-old adult man. Why are you talking about the 3 little pigs? And that was the fucking story.
Of course it is.
Build your house on strong foundations because your neighbor might rely on you and you are going to be the God damn it, I'm so sick of that.
There's like, it is funny with like preaching where it's like in comedy where like you stole that joke, you stole that premise, or even like not even you stole it, but like, hey, Kyle Kinane actually has a premise that's very similar to that already.
Very similar.
Pastors don't do that. They need to start doing that of like, hey, so and so already did something very similar to that.
I think my pastor is in the green room. The pastor's in the green room
smoking,
with the other pastors and church guys. The guy who opens for him, his feature. And they're all back there.
That's what pastors need. Pastors need feature acts.
They do. It's the African pastor